Okay, I wanted to give you a little insight into this particular test. So the best thing to do is to have a kind of like a what would be the word? It's kind of like a variable. We'll call it LED count or something like that. So you start off with LED count equal to 0. And then you have the if statement where you are looking for whether the button is turned. What we're looking at is when we go from the button being pushed down to the button being up. And that goes from a transition of 1 to 0. So we have that if statement that says if the old value is 1 and the new value is 0, then something's happened. So if that condition is met, then what you do is you increment the counter. So you do LED count is equal to LED count plus 1. So there would be an if statement, and the if statement would be whether you have this transition. Inside there you have this updated this LED count, and then you'll have 4 if statements. If LED count is equal to 1, which is what happens when you push the button for the first time, you turn the red light on. Then you'll have a second one which won't be satisfied the first time because LED count will be 1, which will be 2. This will be for the green light. And then you'll have a third one for the red and green. And then you'll have a fourth one which is for both off. And by the time you get through this fourth one, the LED count will be 4. So then you'll have a statement that says if LED count equals 4, inside there you reset the LED counter to 0. And so you start the whole process over again. So it'll have the LED count to 0, and it'll just skip all of these if statements. Then once it satisfies this transition, then it'll increment the counter, and then it'll go through the first one. So that's kind of the basic setup for this particular assignment.